Good morning and welcome to a webinar by FluentPro about the data protection for Microsoft Project Online, backup and restore. Very quickly about myself. My name is Anton Krasov. I'm the president of FluentPro Software. Our company is ISV. We develop products for Microsoft Project Online, Project Server platform. We develop also different solutions for change management, configuration, integration, data migration, so everything to help companies utilize Microsoft Project Online better. One of the solutions that we'll talk today is the backup and importance of data protection for Microsoft Project Online. We'll show main capabilities of the solution, and we will demonstrate key features of our solution, explain what is in the latest release that we had this free version and what you can do with free version versus a paid version in our software. So very quickly, we'll explain why backup is important, how it works, and what to migrate the best practices for protecting your data in Microsoft Project Online, and what you can do with our solution. So very quickly, couple questions or answer facts about why you need a backup. So first of all, what we found is that companies really underestimate the impact of data loss, and majority of the problems that we are facing, and when we analyze these things and when we talk with our customers who use backup, in most cases the biggest problem is a human error, and it's affecting usually just one project. In majority of the cases, it's someone deleted the project, someone made a change without protecting a copy, someone changed the schedules that became corrupted, or deleted some important tasks that it corrupted the entire schedule. And in complex environment where you have multiple dependencies, or complex project where you have several project managers, it becomes very critical, and impact can be very high. To rework that project, to rebuild the project, it can take significant amount of time. And unfortunately, how the Microsoft designs the project online is that you have amazing control over your entire site collection, where your PWA, but it's not, Microsoft doesn't provide the granular protection for single elements or single document or single project. At any point, you can roll back to your entire PWA. You can work with Microsoft support, but that means that if you have 100 projects or 1,000 projects and you need to just to restore one single project, that might create impact for other projects that were changed during that time. So this is not a case. You cannot. Usually, you can do the entire restore in case of disaster, that someone went and delete all the projects, and then you can restore it completely. But if you need to make change and restore just single project, that's not an option. Same time, even if you need to, if you decide to go this route with restore, wait time is quite high. You have to wait for Microsoft to do the operations. That depends on many factors: their load, the size of your PWA, the complexity of the solution, what is the latest backups they have. So it's so there is a downtime, and again, like just repeat it, it is a complete override. In most cases, what we found that if you do not have a copy of project and you have to reboot it, it takes anywhere from 1 day to properly rebuild the schedule, republish, make sure that everything is correct. And another fact that what we found is, since companies say rely on the Microsoft to restore that, they do not have the process. They never tried that process, and they even have no process documented or even considered that process, saying, okay, what we will do if we lose one project, what if someone goes deletes it, what if someone goes and deletes all the project, what do we do if we lost some documents on the on specific project site. So companies usually do not have answers for that question, and but they're important because impact for that human error or human action can be significant for the company. We released just recently product for backup. It's called the FluentPro G suite, and it's up right now. It runs in the two options. So we made a freemium edition where you can backup and restore anywhere any 25 projects and sites. So it's completely free. You just can go online. There's a link on our website. You can go sign up with your Office 365 account or register with your account. We support MFA. So you can go there, sign up, and start backing up your project. So what you can do, you can back up one PWA. Let's say it's your production PWA. You can protect maybe your just active project. If you are a medium-sized organization or small-sized organization, you might have less than 25 projects running at this time, active project. It can be incomplete, in progress, any project, and you can backup any combination of those projects. You can backup one, you can backup five, you can backup all 25. And but the magic number is 25 projects with sites, the SharePoint site. So the SharePoint backup is included as well, but it's provided for the sites that are for projects that are in those 25. So you cannot do the 25 projects and 25 sites from different projects. It should be just for 25 projects and sites from the same projects. Uh, you can have schedules. You can do the backup, let's say every day or every week. You can restore a single project. You can restore a single document or a single site. So you have full control over the restore procedure. So it's very flexible. Uh, I will cover a little bit about the archival feature just a little bit later, but it is not available in the freemium edition. And if you happen to that you need backup for more projects, or you want to keep longer history for your projects, let's say that you have backup for projects and some of the complete and you do not want to delete them from backup, you can always upgrade to 50 projects, 100 projects. We typically do the step of the 50. So you can go anywhere to 50s and 100 projects, 150, 200. So depends on your scenario, depends on your needs. You can upgrade any time. And right now it's annual subscription, and some of the pricing is on our website, so you can do it. You can request upgrade anytime. But again, limitation for freemium that it's 25 projects. You cannot do any configuration management, so you cannot migrate the configurations. But it's 25 projects inside and full backup and restore capabilities for that number of projects. Our recommendation how to implement, how to protect your data in Project Online is we suggest to have at least like 3 or 4 level of or schedules of backup. First of all, when you just deploy FluentPro Backup, we recommend that you take a snapshot of all your projects within definitely your limits for a license for how many you want, but we recommend to make that initial backup. Then we recommend to schedule a monthly backups for where you include everything which is kind of like important. So if you need to restore it, you always have a copy. Then we recommend to have a weekly backup where you backup just active projects that are in progress. It can be modified projects as well, but we typically recommend the projects that are in the execution or planning. So something that is maybe not cancelled, but it is in progress. Maybe person complete is even for projects that it can be zero, but the sums that are being updated and being planned. So we call it active project. It's not always just the person complete. And then on daily, typically there's a flag that you can use. There's a modified date for projects. We recommend to create a schedule that will be based on the modified for that will do backup for modified project. If someone went and updated the project, the date will be updated, and you need to have a backup for that. So as soon as a project publishes, that date will be updated. And having those daily backups, uh, it will provide the ability that if you need to roll back to yesterday's state of the project, you can do that at any point of the time. One of the feature for large environments, and in terms of optimizing the usage of how many projects you can keep in the backup, we have a cool feature which is called archive. What you can do is, let's say that you have 500 projects, and uh, your for your reporting, maybe you need just projects for last year, and out of those 500 projects, only maybe you have 50 active projects and maybe 200 projects that you did last year. So if you take a look on the data, you have pretty much 250 projects that sit there in PWA. They just uh, consume the space, they impact the performance, but you really won't report on any of those projects because the data is already it's outdated. You keep it for records, you keep it for traceability. Maybe there are some legal requirements to keep that. Maybe you track it for lessons learned, but it's not something that you want to use every single day. And what we recommend, we have a feature where you can move those projects. You can provision new PWA, and you can move projects from your production PWA to that archival PWA. And it means that you can move sites, you can move projects, and store those outdated projects in archival. If you need it, you can run reports. If you need to open the schedule, you can always do that. If you need to restore it back and send it back to production, you can do that with G Suite. So you can migrate a single project from environment to environment. So you can simply just optimize your environment, move the old projects to that PWA. This way, you do not overpay for storing the extra data and for the backupping the data that probably doesn't make sense. You have a copy for that. And you can, with all the permission setting, you can say that only one or two people can access that archival PWA, or everyone can access, but they have only read-only access, so everything can be configured using the security. And maybe you can do it just once a month or once a quarter. You can move that old projects to archival to optimize your infrastructure and optimize your data and data volumes. So very quickly summary. So recommend kind of like the schedule metrics for what to do. So definitely we recommend do our initial archival or initial backup. So if you do the archival, we recommend do the archival first, then do the initial backup of all the projects, so you have like initial snapshot of the system. Then run the monthly for all your projects that in your production PWA in all sites. Weekly you can do for everything that is in progress for both sites and projects, and daily for everything that just was modified on that specific day. Uh, Gennady will show demo will be done by our consultant Gennady. He'll show how that works. But one more note on, like you said, okay, how do I do the daily backup, or how do I include projects that just modified? We support in G Suite. You can use the project server views as kind of like as a filters uh, for your for selection of the project. So you can create those views and projects in your PWA, and you'll be able to reuse those views. So it's really easy. You don't have to do anything manual. If you have a view, it is dynamic view. It, for example, show me all the projects that were modified yesterday or today. Uh, it will be dynamic view, and the project will be dynamically added and backed up in the GS Suite. For archival, again, like maybe monthly, maybe quarterly, old project. It can include the canceled ones. It can be depending on your data retention policy. It can be 6 months old, 1 year old, or several years old. Again, like it's all specific to your organization, but very common to use that archival feature. It makes life easier for everyone. Okay, I will switch control for a little while to Gennady. He will perform a demonstration functionality. He'll do the actual demo of the product, and then we'll do some very quick closing for this presentation. So just a second. Okay.
Thank you, Anton. Let me share the screen, and please confirm when you can see it.
Yes, I can see it. It looks great.
Okay, great. As Anton mentioned, one of the main features in G Suite is the backup, and the backup itself and the restore are both very granular. Unlike what you get when we are restoring the whole PWA site collection. And there are two types of the backups that are present in G Suite. The manual backup that you can launch, like when you add an environment, you can launch the manual backup just to get yourself familiar with the tool and understand how the backup runs, how long does it take, what does it include, and how much disk space is occupied. So you can run that manual backup. You can include the PWA configuration or the projects or the SharePoint sites or everything. And there are several options in here that you can use in order to back up the content properly. So, and as Anton mentioned, it's not necessary to back up all the projects. In the freemium version, you will have a limitation of 25. If you have the full version of G Suite, but still your number of projects is larger than you have the license for, you may use some selection. You can use the manual selection, of course, and you can also use the project center views. So in these views, you just provide the view name, and whatever is the view name in the project center, it's picked up by G Suite, and then G Suite determines which projects are part of this view and will include them into the backup. And for SharePoint content, it's very similar. You can back up everything. It's just a matter of having the license for that number of SharePoint sites in the project. You can back up the recently modified sites. You can back up the selection, like you can build the selection manually. And one of the options to back up only the sites that are related to the projects that you've selected above is to select it, to include the sites for selected projects. There is also email on completion. So whenever the backup is completed, if it's a success or a failure, you will get a notification, and it doesn't need to be a personal email address. So it can be in a larger organization, especially, it can be a group email. So a group of people that are in charge of looking after those backups and that are in charge of restoring if something goes wrong. Then you can just provide that group email in here, and all those members of that group will receive that email notification. And once you've created a manual backup, once you understood what does it include, like how does it work, you can go ahead and create the project schedules. Sorry, not the project, the backup schedules. In here, in the environment tile, you can create a schedule and profile. You can create multiple ones because this is what we allow to do. And we actually like recommend, if you have the projects that you want to back up every day, and on the other hand you have the much larger sites, you can back up the sites on a different schedule with different settings. That's absolutely fine. And the only difference between the scheduled backup and the manual one is that scheduler part. So in terms of the content, they are absolutely the same. So whatever you check that works in the on-demand backup will work here as well. In here, you will just need to provide a title. You will need to make sure that the schedule is enabled and to choose the schedule type, whether it's a daily, weekly, or monthly. And in here to provide the time zone and time for the similar parameters like time zone, day of week, and time for the weekly backup, and for the monthly time zone, month, time, and days in the month. But in terms of the content, as I mentioned, it's very much the same. You have the same capabilities. You can back up the same thing and then be ready to face any problems in terms of disaster recovery. Sorry, let me go to the backups. So in terms of the restore, you will have the access to all of the backups that are present in your environment. And if you wanted to navigate them manually, you can do that of course. You have the access to the projects that are part of the backup. So if you know the project name, you can go to the list of the projects and see the list of the projects that have the backups in G Suite. You can have here the links like so that if you click that link, you can see how many backups are there, and G Suite will show you the backups that contain this project. As well, you can, if you don't know the project name exactly, or if you want to search for a site instead of the project, you can search for a site or a project name. And G Suite will show you the list of the backups that contain this project or a site. It doesn't need to start with that part of the name. So, once you found the proper backup, once you made sure that the backup is 100% complete, it doesn't there were no errors reported for this backup. You can actually preview to see that yes, this project or this site is indeed a part of this backup. And after that, you can go to restore and then choose what you want to restore from this backup. So you can restore the PWA configuration, either full or some part of it. You can restore the individual entities like custom fields, lookup tables, enterprise project types. You can even restore the individual elements within the entity. So you can restore a single custom field or a single view or a single enterprise project type if you wanted to. The project restore is independent, so you can restore any of them, and the sites as well. So you can restore the sites, and if you need only a part of the site, that's possible. You can restore a list, you can restore a document library, and even with the custom lists and with the custom document libraries, we're frequently asked about that. We do support all of that. You don't need to specifically include them anywhere. They're backed up if they are present as a part of the site, and even individual elements like the list entries or the documents within those SharePoint sites can be restored. So that's very granular, and that allows you not to restore like everything, and sometimes not even the whole site or not the whole PWA configuration. That helps you to do a restore very fast, and it's efficient, so that you don't need to do anything extra. And there's also an email on completion. In some cases, the restore can be a lengthy process. And you will receive a notification once the restore is done. So you can start a restore and then do some other tasks and then go back to G Suite once you get this notification. One of the most important things in terms of the restore, if you are performing like you have received a note from some project manager that a project has been corrupted or a site has been corrupted, and they need an earlier version of that. We actually, as a part of the best practice, we recommend restoring not to that the same environment uh, that you're backing up, for example, your production instance. But we recommend restoring to the different environment, to the non-production environment, for example, to the test one. That allows you to evaluate the backup, to evaluate like what um, what was restored before you overwrite the data in production instance. And sometimes it can be very important because you want to be able, or the project manager wants to be able to compare, is it really the version that they were looking for? And if it is, then it's okay to restore that into production. But if it is not, what happens if this is slightly an outdated version, or on the contrary, it doesn't contain the needed change, then you need to go back in time, choose another backup, and then restore again, preferably to that test environment, so that you don't lose the data in the production immediately, and you are able to recover the part that has not been corrupted. So that's what I wanted to tell about the backup and restore capabilities in G Suite. Um, and I'm now transferring that back to Anton.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay, excellent. Uh, uh, thank you, Gennady. So very quickly, just to reiterate what we discussed. So, this G Suite, and you can back up and you can protect your projects. It's not a full kind of like a disaster recovery because Microsoft provides that. It's backup and data protection for your project and sites in Microsoft PWA, Microsoft Project Live PWA. We have two editions. So first edition is free, freemium, where you have backup for 25 projects. The full edition, it starts from 25 projects, and you have access to additional features for change management, configuration management, coping environment. So it's not just a backup and restore solution. It's a full solution for change management for Microsoft Project Online and for simplified administration. G Suite supports ability to restore single element or just entire PWA. So you have full flexibility and full control over your operation and all over the steps. One is a critical recommended feature which is available for in free version. It's archival. That allows you to speed up your PWAs, to speed up your reporting, and as well, it allows you to save money on subscription for backup, since you need to back up a smaller number of projects. And recommendation is, what couple steps. We didn't cover much that, but we have some Power BI reports that shows the coverage that's available for paid versions. uh, you can use Power BI reports to see which projects were not backupped, how many backups, what was the old backup compared to. So you can verify data protection coverage for your both sites and projects. It is available. It's available in those reports, and some of the features available in the application, and you can use it. So using those reports, you can identify gaps, if any, and protect the data that you have. So if you want to sign up for it, you can go to our website, and there is a link, or you can contact our sales organization, and we can set up you with account or help you get started on the on G Suite. Um, Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to info@fluentpro.com. We'll provide all the details and assistance. If you want a personalized demo and have technical questions, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to provide all type of assistance for you to make sure that your data is protected when you use Microsoft Project Online. Thank you and have a great day.